G'day guys, welcome back. So we're going to work on the ute today. BL's still over here, she's just hanging out for a bit. We've reached the point where we need to do something about the heating up issue on this car. We are coming off the pad at around 240 degrees Fahrenheit, which some may say is not too bad, but it's probably hotter than I like, and I don't want to hurt it. So we're going to put it on methanol. Alright, so I did cover the possibility of going methanol in a previous video and talk about fuel pumps and whatnot. So what we're actually going to do, so this is a custom tank that I've done for it. So this has a Raceworks, basically one of the Raceworks 2.8 litre surge tanks submersed in it with baffling. There's a sump and whatnot, all this different baffling and stuff I've added in it. There is a video on that if you want to go back and have a look. But so these are normally a 2-pump hanger. They usually take 2 460 or 525 Walbros. We were running 2 460 Walbros with the old E85 setup, but we're now going to go to 525s and we're going to put 3 of them in it. So we're going to modify the hanger just to take the 3rd pump. It's pretty simple, being that, so on these, there's your supply. So this is normally a surge tank, so that would be fed from a lift pump. Outlet 1, pump 2, and then you've got return from the motor and overflow back to the tank. Because we have it in the tank, basically none of those are used for anything other than fuel pumps. So you've got your, this one's blanked, that one there's a return line. I just use one of these as a breather. So what we'll end up doing is run 3 pumps inside there. As you can see, the fuel lines over here, I've already modified the fuel lines to make that happen. So what we have is a Aeroflow Y block. But anyway, so what I need to do is need to pop the hanger out. So as you can see, the hanger has a male and a female, or a positive and negative supply for 2 pumps. We need to add a 3rd. So what you can do is run each one of these, run 3 of these as a trigger for the pumps, and then 1 earth. But because we're running 525s, which are known to have a massive current draw or amp draw, however you want to call it, we're going to add these insulated terminals or posts, power posts, whatever you want to call them. So we're going to add these, so we'll have our each pump will have its own positive and negative supply. So just to avoid any issues. So this is part 1 of what we're going to be doing for the methanol swap. So what I'll do is I'm going to get these drilled. And I'll show you a look at the inside of the hanger once I get it out. All right, so we'll come back. Okay, so I've got the fuel pump hanger out, and this is what we've got here. So there's our 3 pumps all mounted up. Basically what I had to do was drill and tap and add these extra power supplies in, or power and return supply in, to trigger the 3rd pump. So that's all done. The only other thing I did do is, so Walbros normally have a paper strainer. So I've gone to, or paper filter, I've gone to these stainless filter strainers, just with the alcohol, because the alcohol is relatively corrosive. So we'll go and get that mounted back in the tank, and we'll come back. Alrighty. Okay, so here's our 3 fuel feed lines now off our individual pumps into our 1-10. So here's our Y block mounted down here. It's a little tricky to film, but it's down there. So there's 3 -8s that feed the Y block into a single -10. A single -10 with a -8 return is enough fuel for what we're doing on alcohol. So next up's going to be the wiring. So here's our wiring that we had for the other pumps, but we'll come back to that. So we're going to have to wire an extra relay, and we'll beef that wiring up just because. So moving on, we'll move to the other end of the car. It's a little bit messy in here. Next upgrade is going to be our hat injectors. So what we have here is 5 Bosch 2200cc injectors. So what we'll have to do is pop the hat off, and this block here underneath houses 5 injectors. So you can see the fuel rails, fuel lines at the back. So there are fuel lines in and out, and as well as the electric, so the power source for them, or the wiring for them, should I say. So what I'll do is I'll get the hat ripped off, and we'll take a look at the injectors and start swapping them out. Righto, so I've got the hat off. I've actually gone ahead and swapped all the injectors out already. So it turned out the wiring connector I had, so I was running 1170cc X-Squirt injectors, and they actually have like an EV6, and these are 2200 Bosch, and they have like a EC1 or a different connector. Either way, it's a different connector. So they're the same length, they're short LS3 length, but they have different connection. So so I've had all them changed, and that's all done. But basically that's the idea. So the red is just block offs. So you can actually put 9 injectors inside this one. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's one leaning back, and of course you've got the corresponding on the other side. Anyway, so I've got them all swapped in, so I'm at the point of putting it all back together. So I've gone and stuck the what do you call it, blower restraint kit on. So we all need to run these now for the burnout cars. So gone and got a set. These are about $750 or so. Got them through Joe Blow. Fridays follow those rules. So Fridays at Queensland Raceway, so we need them. So they're on there. We're good to go. All right, so I'll go and get the hat all fitted back up, and I've tested for leaks. Everything's fine. So good practice is definitely check all this before you put the hat on. Because you can't check for leaks once the hat's on, so you could be flooding the motor with a dodgy O-ring or whatnot, and you won't know about it until it's too late. So it's always good to check this before you put the hat on, and we're all mint, no leaks, so we're good to go. So I'll get the hat back on, and then we'll go to the back and we'll have a look at the wiring that we're doing. Anyway, all right, we'll keep going. Okay, so back in the tray, all our wiring has been done. We've got some really beefy wiring, and a couple of relays and fuse boxes and whatnot down here. And that's going to complete the setup. So what we're going to do now is we're going to throw it on the trailer and get it down to the dyno, and we'll see how she goes. All right, let's go. See how rich it is in comparison. Okay, so following day, we're back home. The night was flawless. The ute performed great. There was no issues, nothing, no drama, nothing to speak of. So had Kev from KPM on the keyboard as usual, and he's done a bang-up job. We were making 575 horsepower on 7 psi. We didn't do anything other than the methanol fuel change, and it made 636. So it was a solid 60 plus horsepower gain the whole way through the rev range. From about 3,000 onwards, it just shoots up, and it just holds that 60 horsepower gain the whole way. So that's definitely going to be noticeable driving the car and on the pad. So we're pretty keen to get it out on the pad and just see how she goes. But making power was not the reason for swapping to methanol. The methanol was purely to keep it cool. But, you know, a little bit more power is never going to hurt. So we didn't change any pulleys or anything, but one thing was the on E85, it only made 7 psi boost, and on methanol, it made 8. So I think it's something to do with the methanol cooling the rotors and sealing up better due to the amount of fuel in the hat, or something to that effect. But either way, it made 1 psi more on methanol. And so yeah, so 636 is the goal. Is what we made. Yeah, it probably seems a little meek for a blown injected methanol V8, but I mean, it's 8 psi boost. It's built to rev. It is what it is. So no smoke and mirrors here. That's what it makes. She's no 1,000 horsepower burnout car, that's for sure. But keen to get it on the pad, see where we're at with the diff gears, see how tyres go. We may end up swapping to a 323. So we're currently running the 292 rear gear, but let's just hope we don't get into that tyre fire, because I really don't want to burn this thing. So let's kick this thing outside, and I'll kick it in the guts because it sounds so much nastier now. All right, let's go.